Hello and welcome to ActiveNet Bytes. Today I have the great privilege of introducing you to David Stalker. Now, David is going to be our after-dinner speaker at ActiveNet on the 29th and 30th of March, which is sold out, by the way. I'm really pleased. Our theme is decarbonisation and net carbon zero, and David's got a really interesting story that he wants to share with us. So, David, tell us why this is something that you're so passionate about.
Yeah, congratulations on the sellout, and I'm really looking forward to the event. As a lot of people in the industry know, and perhaps some don't know, I was born and brought up in Kenya, and to the frustration of my wife, I still consider it home, be it that I've been in the UK now for longer than I lived in Kenya, but my life was that of a young boy and a young man brought up in Africa, and particularly surrounded by nature, wildlife, conservation, and what was going on. And during the course of my life, you see the changes. You see what's happening. In those days, it was largely about poaching or land grab, or just the massive growth of the population in Africa. Nowadays, you have the challenges of China and the mineral grab and everything that's happening over there, and then overridden by this, bit by bit, you're naturally very in tune with the environment, because that's life. You live in an environment where when there's a drought, you turn the tap on and nothing comes out of it, and people are dying and people are starving, and so you do live with the extremes. That is part of the hardship of Africa, but part of the fun. So I guess I've always been conscious of it, and always worked and been involved in conservation over there, and came back to the UK when I got married. My career I won't go through because that takes forever. That's an age thing. But was determined to remain involved in what is happening in this environment that we live in, and was asked by Marwell, which is a zoo based down not far from Winchester, but a zoo based around conservation, a fantastic place. Lots of people in the industry have been there, and I'm very proud of it. Regardless of what your view on zoos are, the aim there is to deal with species which are on endangered lists and try and get them back, but take into account what is happening in the world. You can't save an animal without seeing what the impact is going to be on humans, because whether we like it or not, there's this human population growth. Now, this is backed by everything that we see all the time in terms of carbon emissions, ozone hole, which bizarrely gets such little publicity, and that's closed up. I mean, let's not say everything's a failure. There's a massive success on the back of a scientist spotting what was happening, and a change just in what we do with gases from fridges, etc. But I started working at Marwell as their chairman and realized that, yes, I knew a bit about animals, but really I knew so little about both conservation and what was really happening in the environment, and became more passionate about it. I guess pushed on by a family that are interested in it, a daughter who's a vet and very passionate about these things, and so you become more and more enthusiastic to investigate, and then at Marwell, we set that aim of becoming sort of carbon neutral, and in fact have spent an awful lot of money. And I'll talk about this on the day. It's a zoo powered by poo now, and it's quite a thing. It's quite an achievement. It's a big achievement at a big cost, but down the end will pay for itself, and the rest of it. So there are those extremes, but we live in a world now where I think something like 93% of living animals are either man or things we eat. Right. And I think it's 75% of all birds are poultry. Right. And chicken. So we've got this all out of sync on that thing, and we as an industry are getting people moving, and getting people moving is part of the solution, because
Right.
it stops the use of cars, it
Mm.
stops all those things. But it's little changes. Everyone thinks, gosh, I don't think I can make a difference. And everyone absolutely can. I'm sitting talking to you now, dressed up in synthetic fiber. Yeah, that's the truth. So actually, I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite. What are we doing with our instructors, with our people, to put them in cotton or whatever it happens to be?
Right.
It's tiny changes make a big difference.
Mm.
But ultimately, every single one of us working in this industry at the top level of running the businesses, we need to be looking to make big changes. And individually, when we go home, we need to be making changes and enjoying it. And because change won't happen if we don't enjoy it and we don't get the satisfaction. It's not just about, I did it because it saved the planet. I did it because it made a difference and I quite enjoyed it, and I'm a better person for it, and I'm healthier for it, and great. So
Absolutely.
it's
Look,
just
David,
been my story.
I'm going to stop you now, David, because you're going to give away too much from the dinner. So let's leave it there. David, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being our speaker. Really look forward to catching up. All right.
Can't wait. Cheers. Bye-bye.